Ah, boy, folks, we've finally come to the end, at least for now. The final episode of Beastars, Season 1. But before we get into my thoughts on the finale, I should give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter, at FoxTon2X, at JacksonTheBung, at 2May01, at ThatSurgle, at Silverback088, at BubbaLubber, at Matthew3645, at Twilight Volt, at Eric the Wolfie, and at Berserker Vivo. Thanks to all of you for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, and a big thank you to all of you who shared all the Beastars videos, and all of you who have been supporting these Beastars videos. This series of videos was easily the most popular thing I think I've ever posted on the channel. The love for Beastars is real, and it just made covering the show all the more fun. Seeing what you guys think in real time at the video premieres and everything has been a total blast. And I hope you guys will come back and join me during Season 2, and hopefully you guys stick around on the channel. I got tons more videos coming, and I got a whole other season of anime, so hopefully something piques your interest this season and you'll stick around on the channel with me. But with that said, we're gonna go ahead and dig into this season finale properly. The Retreating Figure of Summer Wind, as it's titled, and we begin pretty much with the aftermath of what happened in episode 11, which, as you can remember, things were getting spicy over at that particular hotel between our girl Haru and our best boy Legoshi. And it was... things were getting interesting, and then they got really grim towards the end with Haru basically finding out that she's into vor, which, not my taste, but you do you, girl, I guess. But no, it turns out that it was just her instincts trying to tell her to jump into Legoshi's mouth, and they don't really explain it during the episode other than it was Haru's instincts. And I've seen some folks speculate online that maybe it's Haru's instincts to tell her to just dive into Legoshi's mouth. That way she just dies quicker and less painlessly. She's not ripped to shreds, she just gets eaten, I guess, which is quite the instinctual thing to do, I guess. The body is weird, and even the episode says, like, the body knows the best partner, like the body knows what's best, and it's like, I don't know if I agree in this case. In this case, it's truly what the heart knows, and the heart wants what it wants, and these two, their hearts ache for the other, because my goodness, the Legoshi Haru ship is strong. The strength. And I gotta say, the whole aftermath was just, it was a lot sweeter than I had anticipated it would be, especially given how, like, bizarre last week's final scene was, and seeing here that they sort of laugh it off as best that they can. Legoshi's obviously still flustered, because that's just who Legoshi is. He's a flustered boy. And Haru is like, oh, that's my bad. I mean, we could start over if you want. But Legoshi's like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's cool. I'm fine. Everything's cool. You're cool. I'm cool. We're all cool. And it's like, oh my God, Legoshi, my boy. But at the same time, it's really sweet that Haru's like, all right, well, that's fine. Like, I feel bad, but if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to pressure you. That's a good girl right there. That's a good girl, and that's a good boy. And I'm proud of these two. These are good people. Well, these are good animal people. You know what I mean? They're good. I like these two. They're good together. And I only wish that Louis was there, who is absent the entire episode, but I'll save my thoughts on that until the end of the video. You probably know where I'm going with that. But I was a little... I was just a little heartwarmed, a little bit. Felt my heart flutter a bit towards the end, where the aftermath of the whole last week shenanigans, where they're sort of walking back and they're not like angry at each other for how things went down the night before, and they're just sort of walking back and they're being cute as shit, and it was just sweet. I did not anticipate this being sweet, but it really was. And you guys know me, I'm like a big shipper guy, so I love talking about ships. And I gotta say, the Legoshi Haru ship, at first I was like, nah man, I'm team Legoshi Louis all the way, but by the end of the season, they really, really want you to ship these two. Like Paru is really pushing Legoshi Haru, but I do feel like Louis Legoshi is still in the cards. I just think that Paru Itagaki is really, really pushing for these two as well, both in terms of narrative and just like two characters who belong together. Because I do feel like they have so much that they share now in terms of like the overall narrative of the show, and just like what the two have done on screen together, like running away from the Shishigumi, almost doing the horizontal hustle. All these different things, like just being together, being funny, being cute, being sweet, being a little bit macabre at times. The two have a very interesting dynamic, and at this point, I feel like if you don't ship them, you're just kind of in denial. I feel like they're just a really solid ship. I feel like they just work well together, and I think anybody who doesn't ship it is just, I don't know, they're just blind to the truth that is Haru and Lugosi. Now, that said, like I said earlier, I still think Louis Lugosi's in the cards. I still think that Louis Lugosi Haru is still in the cards as well, the OT3. We just gotta figure out what the hell happened with Louis, but we'll get there when we get there. The aftermath is immediately followed up with Lugosi in the infirmary, and this is actually a much more interesting scene than I had initially anticipated it would be, since I kind of figured it would just be like, oh, Lugosi gets patched up and he gets yelled at and then we move on. It's not quite that. The dorm mother from last week makes her return in the scene, and I believe last week I said she was a teacher. That's incorrect. She is the dorm mother, I believe they call her. Basically the one in charge of keeping track of the kids in the dorm. And, you know, obviously. And she is none too pleased with Lugosi's actions, and apparently had him and Haru taken 30 minutes more, she would have been forced to contact the teachers and the higher-ups at Cherryton, informing them that those two were still on the loose somewhere. And I do appreciate that she's like willing to hide what happened with Lugosi, but Lugosi's very much not cool with that, and that's a little worrying, because I'm like, Lugosi, you definitely didn't kill everybody in the Shishigumi, and they're probably still after you, or at the very least, like there's probably going to be some repercussions for the whole infiltration of the Shishigumi thing. Like, telling Cherryton School what happened is A, probably not going to do anything anyway, and B, only going to get you further in the spotlight, and it's something that really bugged me later on in the episode. We'll get to it. But it's just like that moment where Lugosi says, like, now I get why the Shishigumi were able to operate for as long as they were. And I think that's really interesting, because Lugosi is noting that the dorm mother is basically not mad about what happened. She's mad that she could have gotten in trouble for something that Lugosi had to do. And she's salty not because of the actions that took place, but because of the repercussions of the actions that took place. She really doesn't care whether or not Haru lived or died. And it's that sort of adults looking after just me, like fuck everybody else type of mentality that Lugosi's very much against. And I thought that added another layer to the world of Beastars, that the adults are, much like our own world, willing to let certain things go if it behooves them to do so, or if it's just easier to ignore the problem than actually face it. That's very much a real world thing that is once again reflected in the world of Beastars, and I think that's really interesting. For a scene that could have just been, oh, you shouldn't have stayed out late, and Lugosi gets patched up, it actually had some weight behind it, which I appreciate. And we, of course, get Juno returning for the scene, and Juno. Okay, so I was pro Juno for a wee bit. Then I noticed some concerning behavior from Juno in later episodes, and I saw some comments saying, like, ooh, Juno's cool, but I don't know, JoJo. I don't know if you want to say that she's a best girl contender. Maybe let things play out. And I will say, those comments do kind of get annoying, where it's like manga fans saying, like, hey, this is what, or like hinting with like being obvious. I've already gone into that, but that's not like a Beastars problem. That's just a manga in general problem when it comes to anime stuff. But that has stopped, but those comments did also kind of raise my eyebrows, so I sort of knew we would maybe get to this point where we are with Juno, where she's all over Lugosi. And by the way, the man is clearly bandaged up. He has like an eye patch, and she's still trying to be like, oh, Lugosi, like, Juno, bitch, back the hell up off my boy. And yeah, let's go ahead and exit the infirmary and talk about Juno's bad first impression on our girl Haru. And this is the scene where all my fears were confirmed. where Juno basically confronts Haru and does the whole, like, you're not good for him. I'm what's good for him. Gross. I have met people who think like this. Like, people who think that they know what's best for another human being, that their best romantic interest, not them. I've seen people do this shit. I've seen people do this shit, like, as full-grown adults, full-ass adults have done what Juno is doing here. And every time, it is gross as shit. Like, people who are trying to say, like, I'm the better, like, I'm the stronger woman. That's such, ugh. But at the same time, it totally fits within Juno's character, and it fits within the overall narrative that Haru is attempting to write with Beastars, since it does fit the world narrative of carnivores and herbivores. So of course Juno doesn't see Haru as a threat at all, romantically or otherwise, to Lugosi, because she feels like she's the more suitable woman, that she's the better woman, when in reality, and no offense Juno stands, but Juno doesn't stand a fucking chance. Juno's priorities are all ass backwards, because if Lugosi was any other kind of animal, she wouldn't blink an eye at him. So her saying, like, no, I am all about Lugosi. I'm all about Lugosi. Bullshit you are. Because if Lugosi was, say, like a wombat or something, you wouldn't have batted an eye at the boy. So let's not pretend like that's what this is about. You just like him because he's a big bad wolf. That's why you like him. And that is judging people off their appearance, Miss Juno. And I am very much against that. Lugosi clearly loves Haru. Haru clearly loves Lugosi, and maybe Juno should, I don't know, back the fuck off. But no, Juno does not do that, does she? No, Juno goes ahead and cranks it up to 11, firmly securing her seat as worst girl. Yes, that's right, I am now talking about Juno ruining the moment. And I was cringing in my seat at this moment where Juno pulls this whole spotlight moment, because not only could she have totally put Lugosi at risk in that moment, like absolutely, if a Shishigumi person were in that crowd, which who knows if they were or not, her like pulling him on stage and saying like, oh, Lugosi saved this innocent rabbit, this innocent herbivore, and oh, he's so great and all this, like all this shit, and just so that she can get in the man's pants. She could have, like, if a Shishigumi person was there, they could have easily taken shot at Lugosi while he's standing under spotlight. Juno, go away. just go away. I could have screamed during this scene. I was literally trying and holding it in, but inside all I was doing was like, go away! You're ruining everything! I was turning into Sansa, just like, you're ruining everything! Like, oh my God, I was turning into such a whiner. And Paru, she knows what she's doing. Itagaki, why? Why you gotta play my emotions, play me like a damn fiddle? Ooh. It totally worked on me. I was like, oh no, the drama, the angst, no, the romantic issues. So many feelings in that scene. Oh man, I was like angry and sad at the same time, seeing Haru just look up at those two and knowing like, they're great together. The audience themselves saying like, oh wow, they make a perfect fit. But you know what? If there's one thing I have learned from Beastars, it's screw society, man. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, be you, be the best you can be. And date a rabbit, I guess. It was just, it was pure insanity, that scene. I was just losing my mind. And like I said, Juno stands, respect that I'm coming at this from the point of view of an anime only. And the whole show has been leading up to Lugosi confessing to Haru, and it was about to happen, and then Juno goes ahead and sticks her snout where it don't belong. And you have to understand why I am, you must understand why I am angry. Curse you, Itagaki, curse you and your beautiful ass writing. And speaking of beautiful ass writing, can we talk about that proper confession? Because no, Juno's attempts to thwart things did not go through, because eventually Lugosi tracks Haru down and they actually do confess their feelings, or at the very least Lugosi confesses his. And that was enough for me. When he says, I love you, and I'm gonna get stronger, and we're gonna face this world together. And I just thought that was cute as shit. It's cute, okay? Catchphrase of the channel. It's just cute, okay? And I will say that scene had me feeling a bunch of different things. At first, I was very much like, this is just cute as shit. But on the other hand, I also thought it was strange that Haru goes to reach for Lugosi's hand, but then she doesn't take his hand. She just kind of lets her hand hover in the air for a sec and then puts her hand down. And I was expecting Lugosi to pick her hand up, but she just sort of lets her hand fall to the side, and they just sort of stare off at the city line, or the skyline of the city, just together, in calm silence. And the insert song starts to play, and I friggin' like, it's this beautiful little moment. And that shot of the city is gorgeous, by the way. And seeing the two of them overlooking the city lights is just fantastic. But I did think it was like the mood of the scene was interesting, because you assume that they're gonna hold hands in that moment, but they don't. So Haru's not quite there yet. Lugosi's able to confess his feelings, and we know that Haru does love Lugosi, but she's not quite there yet, and that's okay. Like, you gotta give her some time. Gotta give her space. She's not sure if she wants to enter this relationship quite yet. But I like that Lugosi is able to finally confess his feelings, so Lugosi is going into season 2 a clean slate, which is good. And I thought that scene was really interesting. The whole vibe of the scene was not quite what I thought it was gonna be, but at the same time, it was very intriguing. And once again, it's down to the direction. Shinichi Matsumi absolutely crushing his directorial status. And I mean, it's funny because, like I said, this dude was not typically a director position. He's normally an assistant director, but I think his direction over Beastars has been nothing short of fantastic. And that's not just for this finale, that's for all 12 episodes of this first season. I think the man is fantastic, and I hope that they can make the return, the jump over to Beastars Season 2. I can't imagine them switching up the director between seasons, but you never know. I hope Matsumi stays. But speaking of Season 2, we get that whole little wrap-up scene where we see that Louis is still, in fact, missing. We see Bill reading the paper, and he notes that Louis is still not there yet. And that's alarming. I didn't see no body, so until I see a body, I'm not believing shit. I said last week, I don't think that's the end of Louis. I don't think you have a character as badass as Louis and kill them off, especially off screen. I don't think Louis is dead. I'm fully anticipating Louis to return in Season 2. However, I don't think that that's Louis in the post-credit scene. I feel like that's too easy. So I don't think that's Louis in the post-credit scene. I don't know what the hell was going on with that post-credit scene. It was like a point of view shot, and Louis says, or not Louis, but Lugosi is in the hallway, and he looks up and he goes, "Hey, everybody's been looking for you. There you are, come on." And they start walking, and then Lugosi says like, "Hey, what's wrong? Why are you smiling at me?" And then boom, see you in Season 2. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, thank you for that confirmation. Now we can all rest easy. But second of all, what? Who, what? Huh? Now you got me, damn it. Now you leave me on a cliffhanger, and I approve, but damn it at the same time. Oh boy, I don't know what we're in for with Season 2, but I do know that Beastars Season 2 cannot get here soon enough. I am gonna miss this show terribly. No clue when we're getting Season 2, although if I had to hazard a guess, I would say early 2021, maybe? I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong and that it gets here sooner, but I can see it being early 2021. But I can wait. I can wait if need be. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. I do think it's gonna take quite a while because it's 3D animation. It takes a little bit longer. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll get Beastars Season 2 by the end of 2020, or maybe even earlier. I don't know. What I do know is that I'm friggin' hype. And on that note, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and give this episode a super, super strong A tier. I adored this finale, but the show as a whole is damn near close to an S. I adored this show, and once again, thank you all so much for supporting these videos. Thank you all so much for supporting me and the channel in general. I hope to see you guys on other videos after Beastars, but if not, no worries. Thanks for joining me for Beastars, and I love you all very much, and Thanks for watching. And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Before we go, as always, I have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier. Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Sukochi, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support over on Patreon. It is so appreciated. And if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get over there, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. But with all that said, everybody, I am going to take off. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea. And I will talk to you all again real soon.